Well, at least we're wearing different shirts this time, aren't we, NJ? Even different company shirts. I'm wearing a lockdown shirt. You're wearing a Dolph. Is that a Dolph Ziggler shirt you're wearing there? I'm guessing by that it is. We're the British Fist. Welcome back to another Q&A. This one is 141. God, that's some high numbers there, isn't it? I'm Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is none other than NJ, people. If you want to ask us some questions, comment down below. That's the best option. You can also contact us through Facebook, Twitter, and all the stuff linked in that description box below. Kind of took your line there, didn't I, NJ? Let's just start off the Q&A then. American Alucard. What do you guys think of PWG, in brackets pro? I like how you had to give us the name of it, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, just in case we didn't know what it was. I watched one pay-per-view. I reviewed it on my channel, Tremendous Free, and I thought, you know, at the time I was a bit disillusioned with WWE and TNA, and I thought it was okay, but it's nothing that I would go out of my way to watch or pay for. That's all I will say.
All I will say is that when you look back at PWG, you see all the stars that you know and how they progressed up to where they are now. So I think it's good to check out, but it doesn't reflect to the greatness of TNA sorry, and WWE.
I can't believe you just said that. You know, a lot of the keyboard warriors there be like, how dare you compare TNA to the ROH fans and the PWG and the independent circuits? That's exactly what they're going to say. And you're rightfully true, because that is the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Who would win this inter-promotion YWC Dream Match? Ego versus The Shield versus Decade, which consists of Roderick Strong, Jimmy Jacobs, and BJ Whitmer. Hey, where are we in this? Where's Anything Goes Show? Where's All the Road Show? Whatever happened to us? I still can't believe Anything Goes Show had booked themselves to win in that 2 out of 3 Falls match that they booked at their WrestleMania. That was bullshit, in my opinion.
Good luck.
Good luck, because we play backstage politics just as well as they do, brother. Anyway, who would win?
I've got my answer. The Shield.
I say Ego. I would really love Ego to win, because fuck Decade. First of all, that's a shit name. So it would be between Ego and The Shield. I'd give it to Ego. Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization, or whatever the fuck they're called. What is the WWE doing with JTG? I mean, he's still on the roster, but he's not used anymore, so he's getting free money?
I know where he is. He's hiding under the ring with the Hornswoggle and the other small people. You know, back in that day when DX went under there and had that court case, that's where JTG's hiding. He's like, haha, WWE can't find me here.
Maybe WWE are trying to do another Where's Trent gimmick when they're trying to give it to JTG. But I think JTG is probably just listed on the roster, just a job to people on Superstars and Main Event. I think that's the only reason why he's there right now.
The best way to save him and to bring interest back to him is bring back Shad and bring back Crime Time.
I doubt they will do that. I think WWE are punishing the guy for speaking out on Twitter against them, so they're keeping him there just for no reason. I don't know. Jamie Innes. Pronounce his name right for like the first time ever in a YouTube video. Jamie Innes. Not Jamie Ines. Jamie Innes. I did see your video. Number 1. I'm going to try and do this in a New Zealand accent. Like, number 1. Do you think at this point Daniel Bryan is more over than the Ultimate Warrior at the peak of his career? No, we don't really know, because we weren't really there for Ultimate Warrior, but you did pose this question to me in a Skype conversation, and you know the Ultimate Warrior was quite over with the fans at the time. I mean, it's just, Daniel Bryan is really over as well. I think the Ultimate Warrior obviously was more of a draw than Daniel Bryan, but you know, who was more over? They're both pretty damn over. I mean, that's all I'll say.
The best way to answer this, at SummerSlam, put these two in the ring against each other and see who gives them the biggest chance.
You know they would champ for Ultimate Warrior. All of their inner child warriors would come out that day, just like we're rocking Hogan at WrestleMania 18.
Not every fan will know who Warrior is anymore.
Oh, he is in the Hall of Fame this year. You never know. Number 2, mate. How can we reach mainstream fans and get them to buy more Daniel Bryan merchandise as a way of getting them pushed even more? How can we reach mainstream fans? You just got to advertise the shit. I mean, have them wear the shit and wherever they go.
The best way to do it, WrestleMania, you have this band, and they should all be wearing Daniel Bryan shirts, and at the end of their song, they should go, yes! Yes! Yeah, and people are like, oh, he's my favourite singer, Dan. He's my favourite singer.
I like the way you just said, I would just have this band. It could be any old fucking band. It could be the Oasis tribute band for all we know, as long as they say yes.
That's it.
You just got to advertise the shit out of it and, you know, give them a selection and, you know, hopefully it'll catch on. And, you know, Daniel Bryan is one of the top merch sellers as well. Give him some better shirts maybe as well. I don't know. Do you guys totally mark out for Daniel Bryan like me, or are you more biased or blasé about him and like somebody else? I liked him since long before the Yes chant. I hope I did the accent there all right. I don't totally mark out for Daniel Bryan. You know, I would like to see someone different in there, and Daniel Bryan does kind of represent that for me. But I'm not like a massive fan. I like the Yes Champ thing. I think that's pretty funny, and it does entertain me. And I didn't mind Daniel Bryan when I saw him come in because I knew he was a good wrestler, and I always like seeing a wrestler, getting pushed up to the top and working his way.
It took me a while to warm up to Daniel Bryan. If you look past our reviews, it took me a while. Even though he was a great performer, it still took me a while to get behind him from NXT onwards. I think it came during or just after the Team Hell No thing. That's when I saw the real Daniel Bryan come out, even though his first world title run was ridiculous. And when they moved him on from there, I liked him more. But the Yes Champs, they're okay.
That's banned. I can't get that over my head. That banned. But yeah,
Hashtag that banned.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I can't remember what I was going to say now because I kind of got distracted. But I think a lot of people would be like you in the sense that pretty much during Team Hell No, that's when they actually really started to enjoy Daniel Bryan's work, and there's a lot of thanks has to go to Kane for that one and helping him in that sense. So, yeah, Jersey 12361. What is your favorite TV show?
Wow.
My favorite TV show probably be Big Bang Theory. I am a massive fan of Big Bang Theory.
You've really got me here, because I'm really into watching many different TV series. I'll give you two: Family Guy or Game of Thrones.
Two pretty good TV shows. I don't watch Game of Thrones because I hear it's full of cocks, so that's why I don't watch it. Do you like Raven's TNA? Is this a wrestling promotion we don't know about, or do you mean Raven in TNA? Because I didn't really see him. I'll still never forget his entrance music when he was in WCW. It's one of the best entrance musics I've ever heard in my life, and I love it.
It'd be quite strange if we've got this completely wrong. We're talking about Raven the wrestler with the trying all the weapons, and it's something completely different.
Do you know what? I don't care. Let's just go back and watch WCW 99 and watch him in hardcore matches. That's all I care about. What's your favourite food? Pizza. I love pizza.
Anything Italian, so yes, pizza would be involved in that.
Yes, indeed. And also, I would like to give a shout out to Jamie Innes because he has about 300 subscribers and he does some pretty good videos. He's done some pretty good videos lately. Please go subscribe to him. I would definitely recommend you do. And he's got a really cool accent like us. JP Payne. Since CM Punk left, do you see other superstars leaving the company in protest, and do you think he will come back and wrestle at Mania? I don't see other superstars leaving the company because they're probably going to want his fucking spot, aren't they?
This is what I was saying. I think the WWE could definitely have this as a wake-up call. If other wrestlers thinking, whenever they pass John Cena, he's walked out, the WWE probably have to rewrite certain stuff. I think other wrestlers should follow his footsteps. The WWE would have their first wake-up call, because John Cena's not their wake-up call. If people start to follow CM Punk, I think it'd be awesome if it happens. But are they going to do it? No, it's all about the money.
Here's the thing, right? A lot of superstars on the roster would love to have had the push that CM Punk had. A program against Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. A program against Triple H. A program at WrestleMania against The Undertaker. A program against The Rock. A program against Chris Jericho. Modern day era record title reign. A lot of people would have probably done a lot of sucking dick in the company to actually get there. And you have CM Punk walk out. I think people now will be jostling for a spot, and he'll probably go to Daniel Bryan, and probably deservedly so. I don't think he'll come back and wrestle at WrestleMania. If this is a shoot, which a lot of people seem to believe it is, why would he want to? No, what's the point? Do you think WWE will put Daniel Bryan in the Mania main event to avoid the fans burying the match between Batista and Orton? Depends if they feel that's best for business. What you have to remember, if they saw money in Daniel Bryan, they would push him. That's all I will say about that.
Daniel Bryan, I think he's not going to get the Mania main event. I think they've already got that planned, unless the Chamber offers us something different. I think Daniel Bryan definitely needs to be built up to next year's WrestleMania.
It could be an option for Daniel. I mean, this is a big WrestleMania. I don't think you can have a name like Daniel Bryan main eventing it. I really don't. This is WrestleMania 30. If it was WrestleMania 31, then maybe. But this is a big WrestleMania. You want the biggest names in the main event, and Daniel Bryan just isn't one of those names. I'm sorry. Even though he's most over, he's not one of those bigger names. The Brony Assassin 167. What do you think of Punk leaving? So many thoughts on CM Punk leaving. I've given some thoughts in one of my SmackDown reviews, but I mean, it's his choice. I can't, disrespect the guy. I mean, he wanted to be the top guy in the company. He knew he was never going to get there, and WWE put a lot of investment in CM Punk, and the reason why they probably didn't push him to the top, because, we've just been shown, Because even though they gave him matches against Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, Triple H, Jericho, The Rock, and put him in big-time spots, he still was upset and he still walked out on the company. So why would you put why would you make him the top guy? I mean, for fuck's sake, wake up.
I find it a real shame that CM Punk is gone. I'm going to be a bit selfish to begin with, because out of all the current wrestlers that have came in since the Attitude Era and stuff, Punk was my favourite. Now the more stronger reason is, with CM Punk, the second top guy after Cena, gone, is this going to be more for John Cena? Because obviously people are going to buy more into John Cena. Or is this going to be a reason to finally, after many years, push the wrestlers who've been waiting in line?
Guess we'll find out in 2014, won't we? How would you bring up Bo Dallas? I wouldn't. The Bo Dallas character on NXT, I do like. I do find this like delusional, oh, people believe in me. I do find that kind of funny. But they tried bringing him up to the roster like a year ago, and it kind of plonked. So I wouldn't bring him up to the main roster, even though he is quite young and he has a lot of mileage on him. Maybe a couple of years down the line, but not right now.
The best thing to do with young wrestlers, instead of going back to the whole youngest champion thing they had with Orton and Brock Lesnar, I think having him in a tag team with someone, have him in a tag team for a few years instead of just rushing him, and just have him spotlighted there like they did with the Hardys.
If you have to push, bury, and fire someone, who would it be? Go.
Bury John Cena. Let's have a bit of fun with John Cena.
To be honest, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, because if you kind of bury him, you can build him back up again.
No. I'm gonna fire none other than... This is a tough one, because I don't know who I'd fire, but I'm going to go with the 3 members of 3MB.
God, you took mine away. I was going to say Heath Slater.
Push. I'm going to push Wade Barrett.
Pretty much what I was going to say.
Wow, there we go.
I would push, I mean, just because we're British, I know we've got madness, but we want more, damn it. We want it from the WWE.
British,
I'd push Wade Barrett. I would put him on a pedestal. No, not the one he uses in his Bad News Barrett gimmick. I would put him on a pedestal. Would bury, let's think, who would I bury? Triple H, because he fucking needs to know what it feels like, even though he knew how it felt in the mid-90s. And as for firing someone, Heath Slater. I just don't see the point in keeping him around anymore. The Neon Brick. Do you think WWE will make Roman Reigns a world champion? Yeah. He's cousin with The Rock. He's got pretty much everything you would expect from a guy WWE would want to push. So why not make him a world champion? It seems like he's getting some decent reactions right now, and he got most of the eliminations in the Royal Rumble. It would be stupid if they didn't, really, after all the time and money they've invested in him.
Very Triple H. Now, with Roman Reigns, I think, to be honest, again, it's all don't rush guys like they did with like Ziggler and Del Rio in some aspect. I think he should have one of the great builds, show that he can charge through many wrestlers, and then earn his spot.
And as I was reading Facebook, I kind of got distracted. Do you think he could be the new Rock? Well, he is The Rock's cousin, so I don't think he can necessarily... I mean, let's face it, we don't want him to be the new Rock. We want him to be Roman Reigns. We don't want him to be the new anything.
Imagine Roman Reigns with a guitar singing in the middle of the ring.
Believe in the shield! Okay, that rang my ears, that did. Fuck's sake. That's probably all the best you get out of him. I don't know what his singing voice is like. Do you think WWE will unify the US and IC title, and who would you make champion, and what would you call the belt? At this point in time, I'd say yes, because the US Championship barely even gets defended, so they may as well combine the two. Who would I make the champion? I think you'd have to have a match now between Big E and Dean Ambrose, and I think Big E Langston would have to win it.
I'm going to say, but they're not hinting it just yet, I'm going to pick 2 random guys, or who I'd finally give it to. In the end, at the end of time, I'm not going to say Wade Barrett, as much as I want him to be rebuilt back up. Most of his career has almost been around, apart from the Nexus, in the Intercontinental. So I'm going to say, I think to do it properly, either this guy, I'm wishing again, or Damien Sandow.
One of the two. And what would you call the belt? I just call it the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
I would get rid of the whole US title thing, in my opinion. Adam Kelela, I think the name is, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, has got 4 questions for us. 4 whole questions. Would you have preferred to see Batista put over a young star like Roman Reigns or Big E Langston at WrestleMania or be in the title picture? Well, to be honest with you, WWE kind of have to capitalize on him right now and put him in the main event of WrestleMania and probably win. So right now, I think further down the line, maybe when he's finishing with the company, he should put someone over. But right now, I think if they're going to make if they're going to try and make big time money out of him, and even if it is in the short term, you need to have him in the main event and probably win the world title.
I would not have him against mid card or the world champion or the world.
I don't think have him in big matches.
What I think is another possible big match. I think if he came in, didn't win the Rumble, I think he could have had a feud with someone else that came in. Like he could have been. Let's say they wanted to put over. I'm going to forget about Ryback now. Big time forget about Ryback. I'd say another big guy. Maybe Brock Lesnar for a championship. There we go.
That would be a big drawing match for WrestleMania. It would. What do you make of El Torito being in the Royal Rumble over guys like Christian and RVD, who should be coming back soon for Mania season, and Los Matadores as partners? I mean, obviously, it was there for comic relief, and you need a little bit of comic relief in the Royal Rumble. You can't have it all being serious, and that kind of fulfilled that. But Christian obviously was they hadn't brought him back to TV yet, and RVD, they obviously didn't have that many plans for him. So why not put El Torito in the Rumble? It's kind of like this can only happen in WWE kind of moment.
I'd have replaced JBL with the Bull, and instead I would have had Christian, because bringing him back to a spot that didn't really, he wins in a more contendership, gets put in the chamber. I think for Christian to have at least had more of a pop, maybe put him in the Rumble.
Rather than just returning randomly on SmackDown, I kind of agree. Why is Christian scheduled to be in the Elimination Chamber match? I don't know. I think it's because they wanted two guys there that they knew they were never going to win it, but could carry a match.
Another thing, Christian. I would have replaced Christian in the chamber with Mark Henry, who was scheduled to return before the chamber.
You never know; they might still have Mark Henry in there. Maybe he'll. Because the thing is, right now there's four baby faces and 2 heels. So I think Christian is scheduled there just in case they want to do an angle where maybe a Mark Henry kicks his ass and then goes in the Rumble. That's what I feel anyway. And then maybe Mark Henry can go on and face Biggie Langston at WrestleMania, please. Why is every match of the Rumble won by heels? It's just the way WWE wanted to do it. I mean, you had Bray Wyatt win, Randy Orton win. Batista won the Rumble. He's not a heel. I mean, he got booed, but he's technically not a heel. He's more of a tweener. You had the tag team champions. So yeah, most of the matches were won by heels. But this doesn't really have that much effect.
I don't think there's much of a reason, apart from maybe the faces will get their upper hand at a later time, either on a Raw, SmackDown, or at the Chamber. Richard
Collins, with there just being one world title, should the WWE feature and push the IC Championship on SmackDown? Interesting question. This is a very interesting one, because I think that the WWE World Heavyweight Championship should be on both shows, but the Raw is the flagship show, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, maybe I wouldn't say concentrate the whole show around it, but I think once in a while you can push the IC champion in the main angle of SmackDown. But I don't think it should be the top belt on SmackDown, because then you make SmackDown like a real B show, because it's got the mid-card belt as its top belt.
Going back to a previous question, I think they've done a great idea combining the 2 main championships. They should combine both mid-card championships and have that on both shows, because emphasizing one belt on one show when they're basically both the same show now, I think combining the mid-cards is better.
Sean Whitmore. If Hulk Hogan did appear at WrestleMania 30 in a match, who should it be against? He should team up with John Cena to face the Wyatt family. That would be it, in my opinion.
If Hogan does a leg drop, he's not getting up.
No, and neither is the person underneath him, because if he hits the leg drop, he's going to get the 1, 2, 3, brother. You just know it's going to happen. You mentioned Money in the Bank, and if it did go back to WrestleMania, who would you put in this? A load of mid-card guys. You had like Damien Sandow, Wade Barrett, Antonio Cesaro, probably Christian in there because he's experienced. You probably have Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, probably Fandango, a load of like mid-carders that aren't going to be getting into the WrestleMania card. And no, because he'll probably be in a match at WrestleMania. You'd have Seth Rollins. Okay, fair enough. No arguments there. That's who I would put in there. And for Mr. Parkin, do you see anybody stopping Man City winning the league this season? Well, it won't be Man United. I'll say that. It's going to either be Man City. It's either going to be Chelsea. I think it'll be Chelsea, because I think Arsenal will just fall off to go. So I'd say the only team that can stop them is Chelsea. And right now, I believe Chelsea are top of the league over Man City.
Yeah.
And that's a very good way. Oh, we're ending it on a bombshell, like Top Gear do generally. And
Yeah.
on that bombshell, we will end the Q&A here. I have been Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me has been NJ.
Yeah.
What's up? And good night.